What is up, everyone? This is Georgia the Techie in San Francisco, California right now for the Galaxy Unpacked event and the official unveiling of the brand new Galaxy S26 Series, as well as the Galaxy Buds 4 and Buds 4 Pro. So, first of all, a huge shout out to Samsung for bringing me out here to get an early look and some quick hands-on time with the entire Galaxy S26 lineup. So, just as I don't have my review units in hand yet, I can't speak to the real-world performance of the devices, but I can give you an overview and first impressions of what I saw and experienced in my short time with them. First off, the S26 series feels like a refinement from the S25 series last year. The cobalt violet is the hero color, and honestly, it looks really good in person. You have your standard black and white, and while I do wish the color options this year were a bit more adventurous, you do have sky blue and online exclusive colors, which are silver shadow and pink gold. Now, if I were buying online, I think I'd go with the pink gold all day. As for the hardware, we've got some size shifts to talk about. The S26 now features a 6.3-inch display, up from the 6.2 inches of the S25. The display sizes remain the same for the S26 Plus and the S26 Ultra, which are 6.7-inch and 6.9-inch respectively. However, the Ultra is slimmer this time around at 7.9 millimeters compared to the S25 Ultra, which was 8.2 millimeters thick. It also includes the world's first built-in privacy display, which, let me tell you, you have to see it in person to appreciate it. This feature works at the pixel level to control how they disperse light so that the screen remains clear for you, but becomes obscured and unreadable to anyone else looking from an angle. The best part is that it doesn't just work side to side, but also top to bottom. And it's a combination of hardware and software because you have the option to either have it always on, not on at all, or just for specific areas of your screen like notifications, certain apps like messages, or when you're putting in your PIN or your password. I can see how this can be very handy. Inside, we're seeing the Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5 for Galaxy. Samsung claims a 19% boost in CPU and a massive 39% jump in NPU performance over the S25 Ultra to handle complex AI workloads. To keep it cool, the Ultra has a redesigned vapor chamber that uses a material that spreads heat more efficiently across a larger surface area. But where Samsung is putting most of their weight this year is on their transition to a new agentic AI, meaning that Samsung is moving past basic tools to more proactive assistance. Here's what's new in that area. You have Now Nudge, which instead of you having to search for files, your phone will understand the context of your conversations. So if a friend asks for photos for a specific trip in a chat, the phone proactively, without you having to do anything, surfaces those exact photos from your gallery, so you can share them without having to leave the app. Think of this as Google's Magic Queue feature, which does a similar thing on Pixels. You also have the Now Brief, which isn't new, but now has become more personalized by providing timely reminders for things like travel updates or dinner reservations when they are relevant to your day. This year, Samsung is also introducing advanced agents. So you can now choose between Bixby, Gemini, or Perplexity to handle multi-step tasks. For example, you can ask Gemini to book a taxi and it will navigate the app, pull up the details, and you'll just have to tap to confirm. For the mobile photographers, the S26 Ultra actually has several upgrades. There is a wider aperture on the 200 megapixel main sensor and 15 megapixel telephoto. This, of course, allows more light to reach the sensor, which results in clearer and more detailed photos in low light conditions. Aside from that, they've also added the APV codec, which provides more efficient compression while visually maintaining lossless quality. There is also Photo Assist, which uses Gen AI to let you describe in plain English which changes you want done to a shot, such as making a cake hole that somebody has already taken a bite out of. Additionally, Samsung added Horizontal Lock, which uses real-time gyro and accelerometer data to keep your video frame perfectly level with the horizon, even if you are tilting or rotating the phone. This is extremely helpful to get steady video. Now, let's not go crazy here because we know how Samsung moves when it comes to battery capacity. But Samsung actually added a slight bump in battery for the base model, and the base model only. This takes the S26 from 4,000 milliamps to 4,300 milliamps. That's it. The S26 Plus stays at 4,900 milliamps and the S26 Ultra at 5,000 milliamps. But the Ultra also introduces what Samsung is calling super fast charging 3.0. As long as you are using a 60-watt charger and the provided 3-amp cable, you can take your phone's dead battery from 0 to 75% charge in 30 minutes. Samsung says this works due to a refined algorithm that optimizes energy consumption. Those are their words. That I'll have to put to the test. So let's talk the most important factor in whether you decide to upgrade this year or not, which is of course pricing. There has been a lot of talk about a price hike, but it's a little more complicated than that. Let me explain. So Samsung has effectively eliminated the 128 gig entry tier on the base S26 model. So since 256 gigs is now the minimum, the cheapest Galaxy S26 model you can buy will now cost you $900 instead of $800. It's technically the same price that you would have paid if you had chosen the 256 gig model last year, but it's $100 more if that wasn't important to you and you actually prefer the cheaper $800 price. The S26 Plus also got a $100 price increase over the S25 Plus. So now the 256 gig model costs $1,100 instead of $1,000. The only phone in the Galaxy S26 lineup that maintained the same price as last year is the S26 Ultra, which costs $1,300 for the 256 gig model. Finally, Samsung didn't just launch new phones today, as we also have the new Galaxy Buds 4 and Galaxy Buds 4 Pro. The Pro model is to start here, of course, with a two-way speaker that provides 24-bit sound and picks up details such as the resonance of a violin. The coolest feature though, Siren Detect. When this is on, the earbuds use their microphones to recognize emergency alerts like ambulances or police sirens and will automatically boost the volume of your surroundings, so you stay aware of danger even while listening to music. They also support head gestures, which allows you to simply nod your head to answer a call or shake it to decline. So with all this said in regards to the new phones, my humble opinion is that the S26 series is only an upgrade to the S25 series if you use your phone a lot for capturing content, such as photos and videos, as there are enough little upgrades there to warrant moving up to this generation. Privacy display is another consideration if you want to keep prying eyes away from your phone screen. You could always get one of those screen protectors that are specific for that, but it's just not the same as blocking just one app or just notifications or being able to turn it off at your leisure. I'll be testing all of this, the privacy display, the 16 gigs of RAM for the multitasking on the Ultra, and the real-world battery life, starting today, and report back once I've had time to daily drive the devices. Pre-orders are live now, and they hit shelves on March 11th. So let me know in the comments what you think. Is the $900 entry price for the base model a deal breaker, or does that 256 gig storage make it worth it? Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.